One is it that we actually did for episode
I
2?
don't know.
Bear with me. Let me go
Oh,
quick.
okay.
I can't remember which one it was for episode 2.
This is going on the outtakes, everybody.
Yes, it is.
I don't know why I chose to sing this tune, but here we go around the bend. Everybody doesn't know when it'll end, and hey, here we go. There's Max Steel as an erector set.
A kid in the 80s.
Welcome back, 80s allies. It's Larry, it's Jim, it's Larry. We're here on a wonderful day to show you what we got going on. How have you been today, Jim?
I'm fighting a good fight, to use your terminology.
Fighting a good fight.
How are you?
Oh, my hair grew back.
I can see that.
Yes, it looks very, very nice. I went to this wonderful barber called Big Daddy's Barber Shop, located here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. They fixed me up. They hooked me up with proper product, so I didn't look like half a Bozo the Clown.
I wonder who did that.
I wonder.
Well, anyway, this is our girl power episode. Yes. We are honoring women in collecting and going to have a good time with it. As you can see, we've got some Strawberry Shortcake, we have some Snorks, we have some Care Bears. We got all sorts of things going on. The Strawberry Shortcake stuff's gonna play into this during the show for sure. And we even have one of my personal favorites, the peculiar purple pie man of Porcupine Peak.
And I'm grateful that you have the peculiar purple pie man of Porcupine Peak on the back so I can have a cliff note to look at.
Well, that's... Yeah.
That helps.
Yes, because the last time you called him, erroneously, called him the baker.
Yes.
When we were at Uncle Bob's.
Yes, and if you want to check that video out, please go back. And actually, this would be a great time. Why don't you check out all our videos there at the YouTube? Follow us at 80s Allies. Like, share, and subscribe. And we want to thank each and every one of the new subscribers because our channel is actually growing.
It has. So we appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for sharing it out on your social media. It helps us out. We would really love to quit our day jobs.
Yes, it would be very nice if we didn't have to deal with that stress. And we dealt with the stress of just hanging out in the toy community, who has been very, very open and loving to us and are really excited every time we go to one of their stores. They open us up, and we went to 2 stores.
We did, and because it's the Girl Power episode, and this is actually what gave us the idea for this.
Yes.
Some months back, you folks will probably remember if you were watching, I believe it was episode 2 of this season, we went to a place called JB Love Drafts for the launch of a toy-inspired or retro-inspired beer that they had there, and they had a little mini toy show. Well, that was organized by a store called Retro and Rad. And Retro and Rad is owned by Kelly.
Yes. And
this gave us the idea of what if we would do a show that surrounded women in this community, and what a great idea that would be. And so here we are. And so the first place we went
was Retro
and Rad. But before we walked in, and I think this is important to note, we actually went by a little place there. You'll see it right at the beginning of the video there, and you got to give a message to your beautiful wife.
Yes.
On your anniversary or whatever. It was where you asked her out for the first time.
Yes,
is that right?
Yes, it was. Way back long ago. I believe it was. It was a Wednesday I asked her out, way back when on a Wednesday. I asked my beautiful wife out for the first time on the steps of a place that was called The Wire, where my band used to play when I was in one of those loud punk bands, saying things and doing things and propagating the thing. And I asked her out, and we've been with each other for over 20 years now.
Yeah. And she has enhanced your life in ways that you can't even count.
Oh yes, very much so. And we both enhanced our lives together. I want to take this moment, if I may,
please do,
to congratulate my wife on graduating college with a bachelor's in, I believe it's accounting. And she made magna cum laude, which shows how much of a genius she is. And wish her a happy birthday because that also passed since we did this episode. So, hun, I love you. Thank you. And no, I'm not going to mention your name because we tried putting you on camera once at Clinton Tony's store and you ran.
We almost got hurt.
Yes.
So that being said,
I don't know where else to go with it.
Let's take a look at Retro and Rad.
Hey, allies! Well, it's Larry. Jim's standing behind me on the camera. We're actually here to see Retro Rad, but because we're in the neighborhood, what you're looking at right here used to be known as The Wire, where a band that I was in, in the Wayback Machine, used to play. You'd either you come in through this entrance, and then the stage, which was no higher than this, is where the bands would play. But what's really important is this step right here. This is where I asked my wife out for the very first time 22 years ago. So for 22 years I have been in love with a woman, and she married me, and we just celebrated our 13-year anniversary. So honey, not going to use your name, but I love you, and revisiting the past.
We are here at Retro and Rad. Got a sticker, got a pog, and most important at all, I have this advertisement for Retro on Tap 2 Electric Boogaloo. Now, if you folks remember our previous episode where we were at JB Love Drafts for the beer launch, they're doing it again. And I know I can't wait to be there. I know Larry can't wait to be there. Sunday, May 26th. If you get a chance, make sure you get out for this event. But also, there's something great in this store. Larry, check this out. This is so good. They have an altar to Grimace.
They have an altar to Grimace.
Yes. Look at this.
Well, I'm grimacing right now, so all right.
Wait, what? No. See, we have.
Oh my goodness.
We have an ode to Grimace, and then right next to him, another purple guy, one of our personal favorites here. There's Skeletor. We have a Mario making an appearance. But ultimately, the real story here is the altar of Grimace.
Yes, it has nothing to do with these wonderful G.I. Joe vehicles that we have sitting here on the shelf. It's all about the Grimace.
They're good too, but Grimace is here.
Oh, did you see what was up next to Grimace?
Oh, this wonderful Boulder Hill playset?
Yes.
Yes, that's absolutely fantastic.
And the paper cardboard cutout, which is ultra hard to find because nobody knows how to keep paper together.
Yes, and then right next to that, we have Metroplex here. And this is important to note because you'll notice this Metroplex is in one piece. And that little waste mechanism right up there, 9 times out of 10, that thing will break and that'll be in 2 pieces. I know my one from childhood's in 2 pieces, and it frustrates me because I have everything for it. The figure itself is broken.
Yeah, and if you look what Metroplex is standing on, that's an AWA wrestling ring for their toy line.
I don't recall Metroplex being a champion.
Oh, you know, Vern Gagne and whatnot. Anyway.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm the owner of Retro and Rad, and we are in my shop here in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. I got started on this a while ago, many years ago, just doing it online on the side, and then slowly evolved to having a booth at American Daydream Antiques, which I still do have. And then I picked it up to a brick and mortar store, and here we are, and we'll be celebrating 3 years open in April.
What's it like being a woman in the toy trade? Because most of the people that we meet in the toy trade are he-hems.
That's true. That's a very good point. Yeah, it's interesting because it does kind of make me stand out a little bit. There's most of the girls that I know, they'll sell girl toys. You know, I grew up with obviously Barbie and a lot of other things, but I also had, you know, a whole toy box of just random figures that I didn't know what they were, but, you know, it turns out they're Ghostbusters or whatever. So it's kind of like a universal thing. Everybody had toys, we all had fun, so it's really cool to connect with people all over and from all walks of life that are playing with toys or collecting toys, and just regardless of who it was aimed at initially. But it is interesting to be, you know, in a room full of a bunch of dudes all the time. But we have fun, and I love everybody I've met through doing this, and it's been really fun to kind of be in that little corner of the world, you know, by myself on an island.
As we have been going around, we've noticed in the last 5 to 10 years there's been a huge growth in the number of women that are both collecting and dealing and everything. How has that been to be sort of part of that innovation, like in that spot where you get to be as one of those people that's setting this new standard?
It's really fun. Everybody that comes in and talks to me at shows, I don't feel treated any different. Very rarely, and those people are not the people that are my regular customers, if so. Those people are the people that just wander in and don't know what's going on, and that's how they are. But everybody who I've ever dealt with, all the collectors in the area, female and male and all others, it has been just wonderful feedback to be here, regardless. And yeah, as far as like being on the forefront of that, there's so many people out there that I meet and I start to connect with, and you realize, you know, I see in my world, I am kind of by myself, you know. Around here there's not really a lot of females dealing. There's a lot of females that collect that I meet, which are really awesome. I just met Melissa, who owns Play Like a Girl Retro Toys, and that was I love that concept.
We're going to be there a little bit later on today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love them. They do such a good job, and it's really cool to walk in and see a whole room full of toys that you know and you love as a female, and it was just like, wow, this is really refreshing. Like, there's not a He-Man in sight, you know what I mean? In a way that was like, wow, I can't believe that I'm in this like rainbow cloud that they all dreamed up for us back then. But yeah, there's so many folks to meet and to engage with like that it doesn't feel as lonely as it might look on paper.
Mega Constructs needs to make these.
The Bashosaurus?
The Bashosaurus and
Stridor.
I don't know why. I had a mental break in there. Probably
well, I mean, you know.
I had the Bashor so many times.
Well, it's possible.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, as far as the line goes, these are the only two on the shelf that they haven't recreated yet. And
that's right.
I'm looking for good things. Because if you're looking for this in Mega Constructs, the Battle Bones...
Oh, well, you might as well get your wallet out.
No, you might as well just start selling kidneys.
Oh. Sorry that you're so backlit on this shot here.
Oh, no. It shows off my finer features.
Oh.
We don't know what they are yet.
But we're still...
So we're here, and I noticed we've got a bin o' mussels, which is always a good thing. You've got the regular pink variety that we all know and love.
Yes.
There's even a blue one in here. Took him out. That's pretty cool. Then we've got some homies over here. This one, we have inclusion. This guy's in a wheelchair.
Oh,
This is wonderful. And then, but my favorite part is down here. We have some nuclear cats.
Oh, is that what they're called?
Yeah, these ones live near 3 Mile Island. They're glowing.
Well, we live near 3 Mile Island, and I'm not glowing.
Give it time.
Oh, I figured I would have mutant powers by now.
And then we even have, in case you need them, some itty bitty hands, which, you know.
Oh, everybody needs a hand now and then.
I mean,
Maybe a finger?
I mean, well, that I need on a regular basis.
Well, yes.
But I did find the Sog Master.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Enemy to breakfast cereal everywhere.
Whoa. What would your message be for somebody who is trying to get into toys or trying to relive their childhood or just trying to jump in without feeling sectioned out, I guess would be...
Yeah, that'd be a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I'm here. You know, the stereotype of a woman walking into a comic shop or a woman walking into a video game store and they're going, oh, who are you buying for? Not you, obviously. It's happened, you know, multiple times. And it doesn't happen often, but it's happened to me. And I never wanted, and I don't want myself or others to feel like that when they come into a place and they are a collector. So I don't care who you are. If you just started collecting today, you know, come on in, ask the questions. I'm happy to answer. Let me point you towards something. Let me show you how to get started. Let me, you know, give you some tips, tricks, or, you know, some stupid fact that I learned that you might never have known. But I'm more than happy to get more people into this hobby because it's super fun. And there's a lot of camaraderie within our community around it that you can benefit from. And the internet makes it that much smaller, so you can connect with people all over the world you would have never known over a little hobby like this, and it brings a lot of people joy. So I never want anybody to be scared away from doing that just because they don't feel like they know what's going on ahead of time.
What I love about toy stores like this, and I think, and I believe Jim will reiterate, is the stock's always rotating.
Always.
So you never know what you're going to see. Each and every time you come to a toy store like this, it's going to be a different experience. Yes, the owners are going to be the same. Yes, the layout may be the same, but you're in a constant rotating museum.
You never know what you're going to get.
You don't. I mean, you could see something that you hadn't seen in 20 years. You might see something that you hadn't seen in 20 minutes. But that's just the way and the nature of stores like this operate. And that's why we love them so much.
Indeed.
That's why we keep coming back.
Well, Kelly's got a great store there. Absolutely
does.
Great location. And, you know, I think you finished that clip out very, very well, talking about the store and the fact that, you know, these are the things we love about these places is that, you know, they turn over stock, even in a small store like that or the one we're about to go to. There's, you know, the fact that there's a turnover in stock like that, you never know what you're going to find. You never know what you're going to see. And it's just such a fun thing to do on an afternoon, to walk in there, make a purchase, look around, and just take in the nostalgia, if you will.
Well, what I've always been preaching about toy stores like this, and you see them in every toy review that we do, is they have replaced the KB Toys and they've replaced the Toys R Us, where you can go in there, you don't know what you're going to find, but you're going to be able to relive a part of your childhood. And I actually had a thought before we start talking about the next place, is there was an episode of Sesame Street, you might remember, when they were trying to figure out, like, is it a boy's toy or is it a girl's toy? And I remember Tully Monster and another monster. Please, if you remember the monster, comment in the section below, because the female, I forget if it's a female monster or it might have been Dolly herself, saying that her favorite toy was a dump truck. And then it got to Tully Monster, and his favorite toy was his dolly that he went to sleep with every night.
Yeah.
And if we could find footage of that, that would be great. I'm sure it's somewhere.
I'll have to try and look and see if I can find it.
And
if I do, maybe I'll put a clip here. If it's not here, I didn't find it.
Yeah, only to give more work for you.
Sure,
later
why
down
not?
the road.
We'll
just
heap
pile it on.
Yeah.
But what that reminded me of, even going through my adolescence, growing up with two sisters, is we were constantly playing with each other's toys.
Yes.
And,
well, you mentioned it in the clip. Yeah.
And so I felt that was a great preface that, you know, they might be girl toy centric, but they're really for everybody. I mean, you and the Peculiar Pie Man.
Yeah, well, these are from my personal collection, and you know, when I was a kid, I did have Strawberry Shortcake. And I think I've said it on the show before, I was very interested in anything that smelled, whether it was scratch and sniff stickers. Mossman and Stinkor were the things that got me into collecting Masters of the Universe. Or I should say playing with them as a kid. And I enjoyed Strawberry Shortcake. So I had a bunch of them when I was a kid. Now, those are one of those things that didn't stick around the way the boys' toys did. Mm-hmm. But, again, I think I was 4 or 5 when these things began to hit the store. And at that age, you're not really interested in what is for a boy or for a girl. You don't even really know. You just play with what you like. And I think that's probably relatively true across the board. It's parents that force an issue on a child because they understand the gender normity, so to speak, of what a toy should be, whether it's a doll for a girl or action figure for a boy.
Well, what this brings me, and it's a story that I've told you, and I haven't told these fine people. When I was at the Blue Lion Academy at Penn State, and I was achieving my bachelor's, I took a class on masculinity, and the professor at the time, I can't remember his name, was trying to prove to me that, no, there's specific girls' toys and specific boys' toys because this doctor over here said so. And I'm like, well, I'm here to disprove that, doctor, because I am familiar with the toy community and, toys like Care Bears that you see in front of you and others, they're kind of gender neutral, depending. Sure. They all have women and men intertwined, and there isn't any specific, and it's more pronounced through the colors and whatnot.
Well, I think at least historically, what your professor was saying may have held some water in the sense that a lot of the toys that were produced for girls specifically, were centered around things that they would need to do or be expected to do.
Oh, well, yeah, they were home-centric. Like raising a baby, the cooking set, the kitchen, this, that, and the other thing.
And I think where you are right is that in our modern day, gender roles are a lot more muddled. Right. And so it is very common that men help rear children in a much more direct fashion than they did, say, 70, 80 years ago. I mean, it's just different. And so I think you were 100% right in current world saying that there's no,
Well, here's the catalyst to prove that I knew I was right at this point. Because we were leaving class and we were walking down the hallway. And I still wanted to talk about this because I was fired up. Because this was at the genesis of our show when we were doing it. Yeah. And I was talking to him, and I was making my case. And he goes, "Nope, you're wrong," and then ran into the bathroom.
How is it that and no offense to Penn State, how is it that somebody in that job is that closed off from the possibility of an evolution of an idea?
Oh, well,
you know what I mean?
And that's the thing. I found that, not to bash on higher education, but I have found that once you get to a certain level, it's almost like you have to believe that what you're saying is true and nobody else and everybody else is wrong, except for one professor that I had who's my mentor, who actively wants me to disagree with him because it shows that I'm learning and I am establishing my own points.
Sure. Well, and I think that especially when you talk about sociology, which is the I guess the umbrella area that you're in, so to speak. Right. And when you talk about that, it changes as social norms change. Yeah. So to lock yourself in and say, no, it's this way, doesn't really jive with what we know about gender roles and so forth. I mean, there was a time when men wore heels. Mm-hmm. We don't now, but...
No, we wear lifts instead.
Yeah, true. But we did at one point, and that's what I'm saying, is that there's clearly change... And that's just the way it is. But speaking of these toys,
yes. Before we get to these toys, yes. I do want to make mention that one of my cohorts at Penn State is actively studying the gender norms in toys, and I need to reach out to her because I feel that this
should be. she would be great on a podcast. Yeah. Eventually coming up. It's coming soon, we promise.
Yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there.
We are getting close.
But anyway, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
But in any case, speaking of toys, before we get to this other toy store, let's take a break and talk about a toy specifically. I almost got that out.
Almost.
You'll notice there are 2 Strawberry Shortcakes here.
Yes.
Yes, one is, of course, an old one, and this one is a brand new one. And so we are now going to take a pause and take a look at this new toy and see how it stacks up. What's up, allies? We're back. It is Girl Power Month, and as a result, we're taking a look at a new release on an old classic. That's right, we're going Strawberry Shortcake, and the recently released dolls. We're going to take a look at the old ones, we're going to take a look at this new one, and we're going to see how they stack up. Alright, so some months ago, we heard from the loyal subjects that they were going to be releasing these. There is 4 dolls currently in the line that they've released, and Strawberry is the first one to hit stores, at least in my local area, so this is the one that I picked up. And, you know, so far, just looking at the package, it looks pretty cool. We're definitely going to take a closer look at this. They actually are not only releasing these, but they're releasing some Rainbow Bright dolls as well. I imagine they use the same body buck. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we take a closer look. I do have an old one of these too, so we're going to compare the two. We're going to take a look, and we're going to find out just how cool this actually is. Alright, we've expanded our viewing area here to include 2 chairs as the backdrop here this time, because we're going to be looking at 2 different dolls. We're going to be looking at the brand new one from the loyal subjects, and of course the original one here from Kenner. And as you can see, this box has seen better days, so I'm kind of having to hold it up a little bit. Well, I guess I could let it tip to the back there. But you can see that the boxes are quite different. The original one has more of a pink look, whereas this one is obviously a very bright red. Now, admittedly, this has faded over the years. It's not near as dark as it once was. And just to give you an idea, here's another one that I have in box from back in the days. Of course, this is the Purple Pie Man.
The peculiar Purple Pie Man of Porcupine Peak.
You can see this box is in much better condition and gives you an idea of what they would have looked at when the colors were bright and cheerful. Much like any other toy here, we have cross cells. On the old one, it was on the sides, with then a large image of the doll itself on the back. On the new one, there are the original drawing images of Strawberry. On each side of the box are identical. And on the back, we have the image of the doll and the cross cell beneath it that show the other dolls. And then over here on the side, these are little, I guess you could call them punch-away windows or something. They're perforated and allow you to open it. And apparently the accessories are actually hidden back here. And if you look through the window of the box right here on the side, you can see it's closed off. So you can't tell what the accessories are without actually punching them in, or I assume opening the box. We're going to find out here shortly. And so that's the box. So let's get them cracked open and find out what we got here. All right, so there she is. The strawberry scent is really strong. It hits you right away. And the funny thing is, I've not smelled one of these dolls, one of the original ones, in years and years and years, of course. But this smell is almost identical to the original one. There's no question in my mind. I can smell that, and it's immediate. This memory just really jumps to mind from that. So there she is. Now, when you open the box and you remove this cardboard that she's tied into, you can start to see what the accessories are that are hidden by those windows. I'm not going to tear into the box. I'm simply going to take that little plastic out and get at them. But interesting of note, there are stickers that are taped in a little baggie right along the side here. I'm not really going to remove those either. I don't see a particular reason to. Though I am curious to know if they're scented or not. I guess I'm going to have to look that up. Let's take a look at the accessories we have here. There are... Whoops. There we go. This out of the way. Alright, so we've got what appears to be a little purse that is shaped like a strawberry. We have a comb, also shaped like a strawberry. The comb was something that came with the original. There was a comb with the original ones as well. We have a little basket of strawberries that I guess she collected. And we have her cat, Custard. Now, interesting of note, the dolls, if you remember the original ones, they came with pets as well, but not in the original run. So you'll notice when I open the old one to compare it, it will not have Custard because the first few that were issued in the first wave did not initially come with the pets. That wasn't until they they issued them, it was in a later release. So the very first run actually didn't have the pets with them. And so because that's the one I have, we won't have a custard to compare it. Although I will say that squeezing this, it's a very hard plastic and it's heavy. This is definitely not like the little ones that came with the original ones that were sort of a soft rubbery plastic and you could squeeze them or whatever. This is a much more robust piece here for sure. Then if we're going to compare or take a look at the action figure, she does have soft cloth clothing, and you can see that it closes at the back here. Her hat, does this hat come off? The hat is actually, there's one of these little plastic tab thingies here that's actually securing the hat on. I'm not going to remove that because I don't want to lose the hat. But I imagine if you took that off, you could remove it, which would allow you to comb the hair. Her shoes do come off. Interesting of note here, you'll notice the shoes in the back are notched, which I assume is to make that easier to take them on and off, which is something that the old ones did not have. Now let's talk about articulation here, because this doll seems to be, just as I'm handling it, is fairly well articulated. Head does rotate. Arms move at the shoulders. There seems to be a swivel on here as well. Is that separate? Yeah, the wrist has its own swivel. Actually, it's on a ball joint, so you can get all kinds of movement out of the wrist there. There's not an elbow, but the shoulder is fairly robust as well. I'm thinking I don't want to take the clothes off, but I'm guessing that probably, just feeling it, has a ball joint as well. Is that a waist articulation? It feels like there is a waist articulation. It's somewhat hindered by the clothing a little bit. Obviously, the hips are moving around. You can see that. There's knee articulation. Is there a hip? No, not at all. There's not a. And then the ankles twist, and it looks like you can get a toe tilt. So yeah, she's fairly well articulated, certainly a lot more articulated than the original doll. And yes, as I stated at the beginning of this, she does have a really, really nice smell that's very reminiscent of the original doll. Whoops. Don't want her to fall over. Alright, so comparing Strawberry with the original doll, if you put them right beside each other, you can see that the current one is a little bit taller. Not by much, but she is just a little bit taller. Certainly the articulation is a lot better. This one moves at the shoulders and at the hips, and that's really about all and I believe the head swivels. And that's about all the motion you're going to get out of the original ones. Because this has been in the box all these years, I mean, it's been removed, but it wasn't sealed in there. But you'll notice that the plastic is still there that protected the hair, and the hat is on, and it actually still has its original little plastic thing there holding it on, just like the new one does. This one, unfortunately, no longer smells. It has lost its smell over the years, but that's okay, because the new one more than makes up for it. You can see the colors are a little bit different. Some of that, I'm sure, is from just the age of this doll versus this one. But overall, they're fairly accurate, and it's fairly close to the original one, as you can see, and definitely looks pretty cool. One of the things I will point out is, of course, the difference in the comb. The comb was just a general shape in the original ones. I do not know if they're going to do each of the combs to be in a different shape with these new ones. They do have, looks like orange blossom and lemon meringue, blueberry muffin. Is that raspberry? I can't tell who the other one is there on the back of the box from the distance I'm looking at it, but you get the idea. As far as the accessories go, I think custard's the nicest one. The basket of strawberries and the little purse, I don't know that does much for me. And the comb is a nice callback to the originals as well. So there you are. They're pretty cool, and I think just the extra articulation alone, I think, makes them really, really nice. And I think the pets are a huge improvement because they're not this rubbery plastic that's going to break down really easily. These are going to hold up pretty well. Even this one, it's so old at this point, and it's, as you can see, it's never been played with, but even so, just as I was touching the shoes, these plastic shoes that were sort of like this rubbery plastic, they feel like I really wouldn't want to mess with these too much. They start to feel like they could just come apart at any time. They're so fragile. As you can tell by the box, whoever owned this before me, it was subject to a lot of sun or heat or whatever. And so I have a feeling that's one of the reasons that these have begun to break down over time. They're still in great shape considering the age and what it was subjected to, but I certainly wouldn't want to try and remove them from their feet or do anything with them, as I have a feeling they might start to break down on me or whatever. But the new one, these shoes, again, I wanted to show the difference here. They're split at the back to make them easier to get it on and off, which was not the case with the original ones. And I'm sure if the original ones, if I tried now, would break down, whereas these will come off nice and easy, I'm sure. Yeah, they will. I'm not going to take it off right now, but yeah, they will absolutely come off pretty easy there. One of the things, I think that one of the other reasons they've cut this is because I noticed that with the articulation being what it is in the ankles, it would be really easy for these things to be almost impossible to get on and off with that articulation, because the ankle wants to do one of these deals as you try to remove the shoe. So having that access was going to make it a little easier in the event that they start selling different outfits for the dolls or something like that where you want to change them. It would enable you to do that a lot easier. So there we go. Yeah, she's looking really, really good. Final thoughts on this. I think if you're a Strawberry Shortcake collector, this is definitely something you're going to want to pick up for sure. Compared to the old ones, this is a really, really nice update for sure. They have done a great job with this. By they, I do mean the Loyal Subjects. And I really hope to see this line expand. I do know that they're planning a Purple Pie Man and a Sour Grapes at a minimum for next. I think it's for next year that they're supposed to come out. This is the only one I've seen at retail so far, but I imagine the other ones are coming. In some places, they're probably already out. And my other thing I would suggest here is that if you would look at the body on these, I would imagine it's the same body buck that they're using for the Rainbow Bright dolls that they're also releasing that are in a similar box. So I would think that that's about the same thing, and they're about the same size. So it's likely that it's the same body. So they're a great little doll. They smell great, they look great, and they're a really nice update to the originals. And from here, it's a strong recommend from me. So thanks for listening and thanks for watching, and until next time, allies. Well, we're back, and this.
Oh yeah, that's got some of that old smell.
Were you just freebasing the box?
That's enough out of you.
Okay. Well, listen, if you want to smell something very, very nice, actually the doll is the better bet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will tell you, that was a memory jogger. Like the moment I smelled that.
They say that the sense of smell is the most powerful reminder of things. Because I used to smell there were certain smells that would lead me to my grandparents' basement.
Yes.
Even if I was like half a world away.
Yeah, without a doubt. And this is it's a great toy, guys. As I said, it was a strong recommend for me. I think that they did a wonderful job. And truthfully, as you saw in the review, this one's very, very old, and just based on the age and so forth, the shoes are starting to give way. I wouldn't touch them very much. This one, you can get these, and I think this was about $14 at the store, so it wasn't overly expensive, and you have a very nice representation of Strawberry instead of going the old route if you'd rather not, or if the kids want to play with it. Obviously, don't get the old ones. Get these because it's less of a danger. Those are so old; they're starting to fall apart.
Yes, that is well built.
Yeah, and it's much more articulated now. You've got the wrists move and the arms go out to the side, not just that. And so they are a huge improvement. And like I said in the review, I think the fact that they opened the back of the shoe here so that it easily comes off is a huge improvement and a necessary one, because they articulated the ankles, and if you would try to do it, as you can see, the ankle moves quite freely.
Oh, wow.
So if you were to if this was sealed up and you were trying to get that off, that would be really, really difficult. So I think they did a wonderful job, and I really, really like it. And I haven't seen the other 4 at retail. So, but when I do, I think I'm going to pick those up too because they're pretty cool.
Well, what caught my eye is if you look at the box, you'll see 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Now, what I initially thought these were those. You know how back in the 80s you used to get points where you would take the points, mail them away.
As a matter of fact.
Oh, look at that!
Right there, this little circle was the proof of purchase.
Yeah, and you would cut them off and you'd send them away, and you get the exclusive. Whatever the toy was. The mail-in or what have you. Yeah, no, I thought these were mail-ins, but no, they're surprises.
This is where the accessories are, and as I showed in the review, I didn't tear the box, but...
I wasn't there for the review.
No, but this is what we've got here, and, while we're here at the table, I didn't take these out of the plastic. Oh, you got the cat! Yeah, Custard the cat is here. And as you can see, it's a nice hard plastic. It's not that little squeezy stuff.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to squeeze the heck out of his head.
Yeah, the comb and the little purse and everything, that's okay. But
you got to have Custard.
Yeah, I was really glad that Custard came along with her. And, the other thing I didn't do during the review, I mentioned it, but I didn't do this. Your stickers.
There you go.
There are stickers on the side of this, and I was curious to see if they smelled too, or if... Oh, I thought that was going to tear it open. It didn't. Huh. We'll have to tear this open a little bit later on here while we're watching something else. But, with the girls' toys, I think we both know a good place where we could find some fantastic girls' toys.
Well, hang on. Because we still have to do something, because you brought Strawberry Shortcake, and Strawberry Shortcake's out of the box.
Uh-oh.
So you know what that means, right?
An intergender match?
Oh, that means an intergender match. All right, here we go.
Hang on.
All right, there you go.
Let's see if she can... Oh, yeah. Oh, got him. Got him. You going to make the count?
Yeah. And there you go! Hasbro Hogan is still... got a losing streak.
I was going to say, has not won here on 80's Allies.
A single match.
Absolutely. That's the way it should be.
Yes,
Hogan
absolutely.
Losing at all costs. But in any case, let's... we did go to a second toy store, Play Like a Girl, and you had a good time there. There was a little bubble machine outside.
Oh! Well, why don't we watch the video first, and then
we'll come back to that?
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that. Let's take a look. Larry, we seem to have bubbles calling us.
Yes.
Like a...
Oh, this was the funnest part of being a kid, was trying to pop all the bubbles.
It's like a siren song, just bringing you to a place, and I can see what place it's brought us to.
Yes. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's a sign. Look at that.
Yeah.
We are at Play Like a Girl here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which is not too far down the street from Retro and Rad. About a half-hour drive as the crow flies south. But here we are, and I've never been here. I know you've been here.
Yep, let's check it out.
Let's go in and see
Yeah.
what good people have to offer.
Absolutely.
They don't make them like this anymore.
No, they sure don't.
In fact, some kid probably would have gotten tetanus.
What? Yeah, you don't really often see this. The Fisher-Price Little People stuff. It's starting to filter into toy shows here and there. But as you can see, there's a ton of it here. You've got the nursery school, you have the zoo. I actually had that zoo as a kid. I had this too, the houseboat. And this I did not have, but I wish I had as a kid. The Sesame Street playset.
That is cool.
Yeah, and you've got here where you've got you spin them around there in the bag. There's Bert, and you've got all the characters there.
There's Mr. Hooper.
Yeah, Mr. Hooper is there.
And Cookie Monster is right next to him.
Oh yeah, we got all kinds of stuff in there. Good stuff.
That is good stuff. My older sister had Rainbow Bright out the wazoo, up to and including that sheet set. And all the Rainbow Brights. I actually had this fine gentleman right here, because my parents didn't want me to feel left out, like when my sisters got something. So, yeah, I got Red Butler, and they collected all the other ones. Because when I was growing up as a kid, I had two sisters. And we seemed to mingle toys in and out with each other. So they would play with my toys, and I would play with their toys, as natural as you do, because that's what you did when you grew up. And just seeing these things remind me of all the memories that we had when we were living in Germany that I didn't think I was going to experience again.
She couldn't get even into it. So that's kind of how I came up with this idea. Because I got tired of going into all the vintage stores and they were lacking. And most of the girl collectors, they're all online. Like we're on Facebook and everything, so this actually gives somebody a brick and mortar place to start and to actually look at stuff, either finding their old toys or finding something new that they like.
And you being a woman yourself, and with the toy community, and most of the toy owners that we talked to were mostly male, how do you feel that, seeing as how you're part of the community, have you found it being very accepting, welcoming, a warm reception?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Everybody's been like, oh, this is a great idea. Oh, we didn't think about girls wanting toys. And there's been some customers, not really customers, but people are like, girls collect toys?
Well, we have the people come in, the mother and daughters, and they're like, do you remember this? You never bought this for us as kids. And we're sitting there, quietly chuckling to ourselves,
Or you'll get older siblings come in and like, I have this down, you cut its hair.
As well.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
What'd you? Wait, what's it? I mean, well, I think I do kind of.
Now, here is a bit of nostalgia. I had this bookshelf growing up.
Really?
I had this bookshelf growing up, and we used to reorganize our books. We would dump all the books out,
and we would try to do it by size. The only problem is organizing the bookshelf would take 4 hours because we put a book on and then grab a book and then start reading that book and then put the book in and then start reading the next book. So needless to say, we'd have stacks of books and none of them made it back in the shelves, and then my parents would get upset at us.
One of the things I love about this place is that, as you heard Kelly say earlier, this is a store truly dedicated to what are traditionally considered girls' toys, for sure. But also the presentation. Check this out. Freshly cleaned in a nice bag, a little bow on top. It's a really, really great way to buy a toy. If you were getting this for someone that you cared about, you are already prepared to give it to them as a gift. It's already got a bow on it. It's already ready to go. And I've never seen that in any other store, so it's a really cool thing.
Yes, most of the stores that we go to, they wrap them like I wrap my Christmas presents.
You don't wrap Christmas gifts. We
See what I mean? So what advice would you give to somebody who is trying to get into collecting? I mean, they had it when they were a kid and they're trying to get back into it. You have your brick and mortar store, which is fantastic, and it provides a nice gateway for people to get reintroduced to the product. What advice would you give to somebody who is looking to get back in and opening the gate so that they can come in and join the...
Especially women, since it's much less accessible.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't let people tell you we can't collect toys. Because that's what a lot of people seem to think, that if this is a boy dominant, guy dominant field. We can.
And do and should.
Yes.
Do and should.
Like I said, if you go on Facebook, there are so many girls having their own groups and everything, selling toys to each other, and it's
We are leaving Play Like a Girl, and as you can see, it is directly behind me here. And if you would look this direction, you will see that is the main street. Now, the reason I'm pointing that out is if you decide to come here, know that the address, the 777, encompasses a very, very large set of buildings. So you won't see it from the road. You've got to come back this path. Follow the feet and just go by this door that they lead to into the next one. And it's been a great time. We have our purchases, and we're going to get back to Allies Alley. So we'll see you back there. All right, we're back, and we enjoyed Play Like a Girl.
Oh, I absolutely loved it. It reminded me of being a child because of my sisters. As you could see, as we went through that store, I found things in there that I had grown up with, like that bookshelf. I remember cleaning that, and it's like I said in the video, cleaning that bookshelf out, and it used to take me all day because I would read the books before I'd put them back in the shelf.
And then there's the other thing that I really liked about the store is, and you're seeing this more at shows too, is the prevalence of Fisher-Price toys, like the Little People that you and I remember very, very fondly. And especially, I think it's especially true for us with those because they've changed so much. They still sell Little People, but they're nothing like they were when we were kids at all. They're totally different. So it's one of those things that's neat to see.
There's a Little People set that I'm thinking of getting.
Really? Is it the Sesame Street one that you were...
No, it's not the Sesame Street one.
Really?
They made an exclusive.
Oh, you mean of the modern day ones?
Of the modern day ones.
Which one is this?
I believe Fisher-Price had released a Voltron set.
Did they really?
Yes. And I can't confirm it, but I've seen pictures that this thing actually exists. I don't know if it's in production, but if it is, you can guarantee it. You'll see it on this show.
I'll have to look and see if I can find it. If I do, I'll put a picture here. If not, we'll just pretend Larry is, fantasizing or something. We did get.
I am not fantasizing.
We did get the stickers out, and they do smell. We did get the stickers
out.
Yeah. So there we go. We have that. But it was a great store. Missy is doing a great job there, and I think what was really interesting to me, and this, I had been there once before we got there, and she had explained, and she touches on it in the video here that the toy thing started with her and her husband who is now gone, and I think it's it's a really neat tribute to him in a lot of ways that she continues with this and is doing this, and it's really, really cool. So she's doing a great thing, and shout out to her. And we're really, really glad that we could be there. And,
very grateful
and show off the store and everything. It was a good time. But you, let's talk about this bubble thing, because you were right at the beginning of the video there. You were
bubbles are fun.
Well, you were all over the place.
Bubbles
with
are
that.
great. You know what? You know,
it's a little pink filter at the beginning there. And
never seen a grown man poke bubbles?
Can't say I have.
Well, now you have. Then there you go. You can check that off your list. You know, one thing that I did notice while reviewing these toy stores.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's just centric or if it's like toy store wide, because it is something that I have noticed in other toy stores. Probably sans Eternia Dreams, maybe, is a lack of Barbie.
You know, I was actually talking with Alan about this recently, and I was down there recording, and he said that Barbie is not something that they keep because it really doesn't. Everyone collected it and has collected it over the years. And it's one of those things, unless you have certain pieces, it's just not, it's not worth carrying it or whatever. So because he actually got a call while I was there, and he said he wasn't interested in Barbie or whatever.
Oh, wow.
And there's a guy, if he can make money on it, he'll carry it. So there you go. But, you know, shout out to Alan and the folks at Eternia Dreams, and especially because it's their Girl Power episode, shout out to Nikki with her Nikki Sweets and the candy, and of course all the work she does managing Eternia Dreams, and of course keeping Alan in line.
Well, yeah,
it's a full-time job.
Oh well, yeah. There's got to be a brains behind every operation. And Alan's the brawn.
Is that how it is?
Yes. Nothing against Alan. Of course, he knows that.
No, we're just ribbing him.
We're ribbing him and giving him a hard time.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, these two stores that we were at, these folks, if you want to meet them, if you want to see them, if you want to check out their wares, you're going to get an opportunity to do that. We mentioned the JB Love Drafts and the beer that had been out before. It is about to happen again. Retro on Tap 2, Electric Boogaloo. We'll put the information on the screen right now. At the time of this dropping, we are probably a week to less than a week away from this event. We are hoping that this will help generate some interest. And for Kelly and for JB Love Drafts, and get folks out. So there will be a mini toy show again. Some of our favorite people will be there. Toys for the Ages will be there. Uncle Bob will be there. Of course, the two stores that we visited here will be there. So, and plenty more. So if you're in the local area and you like beer, by all means, get out to JB Love Drafts, get some toys, have a few drinks, and have a good time. It's going to be fun. We're going to be there.
Well, we're going to be there, and from what I understand, is this event going to be all ages? Are the kids going to be allowed to go in there, or is it an 18 and then 21 to drink?
I would think, I don't know.
Or is this more of an adult day trip?
I will tell you what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to investigate this, and what I will do is I will put the answer on the screen here, because I do not know at the time of this recording, because I didn't do enough research.
Yes, neither did I, which is why I was posing the question. I figured, why not put you in the hot seat while we're sitting?
Yeah, you do that frequently.
Oh, yes. Well, somebody has to.
Yeah, I see how you are. You know, it's not...
I'm like this.
You know, we know a lot. We're very fortunate. We know a lot of very incredible women that we know. You mentioned your wife. Of course, we've seen these two women that own these stores and do incredible work. I think we need to shout out to our friend Dr. Kathy.
Absolutely.
That's not going to mean a whole lot to the people watching for the most part, but our friend Dr. Kathy is just fantastic. Hopefully you'll see her on some of the podcast that we're going to do. Just an extraordinary human being.
Yes.
And, you know, there's a friend of mine who is an entrepreneur and just a wonderful person as well. Her name's Chelsea. And she is operating out of the greater Rehoboth area. Okay. And actually has a business, Chelsea and Company, that does bartending services, private events. She puts together grazing tables that include charcuterie boards and all sorts of things. And I've known Chelsea for many years now, and I've had the chance to enjoy the things that she makes.
For those of you who don't know, a charcuterie board is Lunchables for adults.
Like, yes, much higher end Lunchable.
And I love them.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Oh, they're great.
She makes some really, really good stuff too. There are these cheese balls that she makes that are everything bagel cheese bite. They're amazing, absolutely amazing. But in any case, we have a little segment on this show where we mix up some drinks and so forth, and it didn't seem appropriate
Not at
that
all.
I would mix something up.
No.
For this particular show, it seemed to make sense that we would have a woman who is a great mixologist do it, and Chelsea was willing to step in for a little segment that we like to call around here After Dark. Welcome back, 80s Allies. We are here. It is time for another episode of After Dark. And we are right smack dab in the middle of our Girl Power episode. And so I figured instead of making a drink, I should turn the reins over to someone far more feminine than myself, my good friend Chelsea, who owns Chelsea & Company right here in Milton, Delaware. So if you are in the Milton, Delaware or local area and are in the market for a bartender, somebody who does charcuterie boards, grazing tables, she is your woman. Contact Chelsea & Company. Information will be in the description box and at the bottom of the screen right now. Welcome to the show, Chelsea.
Hi, Tim.
Outstanding. Okay, so we are talking 80s. We are talking 80s toys. What are you making us today?
We are making a strawberry shortcake martini.
Strawberry shortcake martini. That sounds excellent. What are we going to be using for it?
So we're going to be using whipped cream vodka. We're going to be using a strawberry syrup and some ready whip extra heavy whipped cream.
Wow. Okay, and we've got some other stuff over here. We have.
We're going to garnish with some graham cracker.
Okay.
And we're going to top it with a strawberry.
Outstanding. Now this is just the graham cracker you get in the everyday box, all crushed up and everything else. We're taking out your anger issues earlier. Outstanding. All right, well, take it away. Show us what you're going to do here.
All right. So first we're going to start, we're going to muddle some strawberry.
Oh.
So I'm just going to muddle up some strawberry here.
Now, if they don't have a muddler, could they use like a spoon or
of course.
Something like that?
Mm-hmm.
You have all the fancy gear.
All the gear. Correct. And I'm going to...
That's nice there.
That's nice. I'm going to use 2 ounces of whipped vodka. I'm going to use a ½ ounce strawberry syrup. And we're just going to use a whole bunch of whipped cream. It's going to make it creamy. You drop that on and shake away.
Shake away.
And now I'm going to rim this glass.
Now, are you just rimming it in water? Is that what you're doing?
This is going to be it's a vanilla simple syrup.
Oh, okay, all right. So not only are we imparting some flavor, but that's also going to allow the to stick to the rim.
Yep.
Beautiful.
It's a very nice rim.
Look at that. That's prettier than the drinks I make on this show. The allies aren't going to want me to do it anymore. Now I notice you have that strainer over there. That's a pretty fancy strainer there.
It is, but I'm not going to use it because I'd like to have some of the pieces of strawberry in the drink.
And otherwise, that would strain it out.
Mm-hmm. It would if you wanted to, but you don't.
Yes, that. Now we're going to garnish. there you have it, folks. The Strawberry Shortcake Martini, just in time for our Girl Power episode. That looks fantastic. All right, so now we're going to taste this here. You were already tasting it while I was explaining. Oh, see, this is why you can't leave me in charge. That tastes exactly like strawberry shortcake. Exactly like strawberry shortcake, with just the tiniest hint of an alcoholic tinge to it. That's really, really, really good. You were saying to me earlier that there was another way you would garnish this.
Yes, so I would take this off. And if you wanted to do something bold,
there you go, folks. The Strawberry Shortcake Martini. From my friend Chelsea, right here at Chelsea and Company. Remember, the information is in the description box, is at the bottom of the screen. Contact her, she'll hook you up. We're glad you joined us, and until next time, allies.
cheers.
That drink was amazing. By the way.
Oh, well, you were able to taste it?
I was able to taste it. I was, and it was fantastic. It was strong, but you didn't detect the alcohol because of the way she mixed it. And
wonderful!
It was really fantastic.
Oh, that would mean after 4 of those, I would be in the bathroom.
It's a very strong possibility.
Or everything would be blurry and doubled.
It was a lot prettier than the drinks that I make around here.
Oh,
I'll put it that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that is saying something.
It was much more attractive than the drinks I make. There was a little strawberry, and it was wonderful.
It was gorgeous.
Yes, it was.
Oh,
it was. And folks, if you are in that area or basically in this area, she'll go to Delaware, she'll go to Maryland, she'll go to Pennsylvania. If you're in this area and you need a bartender, please look up Chelsea and Company on Facebook. There is a QR code, of course, that I've got on the screen right now. By all means, check it out, and that'll give you all the contact information you need in case you need one fantastic bartender for your event.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Can't thank Chelsea enough for the work that she put in for us and coming off on the fly, because we were talking about this as like, we need a drink. I mean, the women like alcohol too.
Yeah, and I should point out that this was not the easiest video to shoot because she was extremely busy. Mm-hmm. She had just she had a personal situation, had moved, and then needed to come back, and she was just under an incredible amount of stress. I was down there for just a couple of days, and we rushed that footage and got it together. It is certainly not the most perfect video that I've ever filmed.
Right.
We had her house was not conducive sound wise, and I had to work on the sound of the video. So I apologize that it wasn't normally up to our normal stuff, but we had to just get it done and make it work as best we could, and we did so.
And we're grateful for Chelsea to endure us as we're asking for her to do something that's outside of what she should have been doing.
It was definitely outside of what she normally does,
yes,
for sure. As far as trying to tie in a toy, with a drink. And the funny thing is, we wanted one of these to pose with it. We must have gone to 3 or 4 different stores trying to find it, and they weren't out yet. And so we couldn't. So we were looking for anything with Strawberry Shortcake, and we just couldn't find anything. Or we wanted to have a little image, and she immediately said, "I have an idea," and that's why you see that little heart-shaped cake that's in the video there. That's
very nice.
That she managed to put together and make happen, so that there was a really cool shot. So, shout out to Chelsea. She did a wonderful job, and she's just a great human being, and I'm glad she's my friend.
And I'm grateful that she's your friend too.
Yeah.
Well, folks, just to clean some stuff up here, we want to thank Jim LaPlante for that wonderful logo that he's made. If you want Jim LaPlante, contact Jim LaPlante. Well,
he can make a logo for anybody.
He can make a logo for anybody. We want to thank Colby Dove for the wonderful theme song that you hear when we have the grand opening. And we have promised you an 80s Allies garage. I am proud to say that we are still working on it.
We're close.
We are very close.
We are very close.
A lot closer than what we were in the winter when Oh man, that is a story for another time.
Yeah, it sure is.
Geez, the gymnastics that I had to perform.
We'll call it that.
More like wallet gymnastics. To get that thing together, but it's coming together. It's up. We are moving forward with it. We are hoping to launch the garage, the 80s Allies garage here, hopefully roughly around August, September. We still have some things that we need to file down.
Yep.
It's also, we're going to be doing the podcast that you're about to preview, hopefully sometime soon. But that's in the works. It's coming together, and we stand by the remark that, a project is only late until it's out, and we'd rather release a finished project than a rushed project.
Absolutely. So that's where we're at, and I think we should pause here, and we put in. I'm gonna if Adrian gets me the thing, I'll have it like break in, so we can come out. The heck was that?
Oh, you want to do that?
Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so in 3, 2... The heck was that?
I didn't know he was around at all.
How did he break into the program?
I saw that trick done once in G.I. Joe. Does he know Cobra Commander? Is he familiar with Destro?
Well, he obviously runs from Lairman, so it's potential that he could be a bad guy.
I got words for that.
For Lairman?
For that guy. Yeah.
Huh.
The fact that he put me in the position that I am. You saw the video. You saw us standing next to each other. You see what I have to deal with?
Whatever.
That's enough out of you. Anyway.
Well, folks.
I forgot what we were doing.
Yeah. Well, folks, I think that about covers it for this show. We've had a very special show.
Very much so.
We've had a great time. We've had a strawberry time. We've shown some girl power. We've demonstrated that women belong in collecting.
Absolutely.
They belong in fandom. And they're doing some great things here and really enhancing this collecting and nostalgia world that we so enjoy.
And we've also established, which we're still going for, that... toys are for everybody.
Absolutely.
It's not just boy girls. It's not
not boys toys.
What did I say? Boy girls?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. We're gonna try to cut that out, but I know it's going to be left in. So,
it might be.
Yes. We've established there are things that are deemed as boys' toys and things as girls' toys, but really, if you think about it, they're just toys. And when you come to our show and you see the things that we do our best to prevent gatekeeping at all costs. We are the gate openers. Come on in, try to learn something new, and keep the negativity for somebody else. Man.
Absolutely.
You don't bring that here.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And I think there's no more that needs to be said, though. So for Larry, it's Jim. For Jim, it's Larry. And we will see you next time, allies.
Stay positive. Larry positive. Jim positive. Sheiky baby positive.
Sheiky positive.